Alright, hey YouTube, this is Mikey Bizzle for Shizzle at my new place. Got my new 52-inch TV behind me. Got my brother playing UFC. What I'm about to do is my UFC 127 predictions. As everybody knows, GSP is out because he got his leg or knee injured. He is not going to be fighting Carlos Condit. Carlos Condit is going to decide to pull a Rashad Evans and wait. And in the meantime, we have BJ Penn and Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, who was supposed to fight GSP, but doing his thing, training and shit, decided to move to the main event. Okay? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give one of my predictions for the Spike TV preliminary, one for the Facebook preliminary, and I'm going to give 3 for the pay-per-view card. So it's not going to be all of them, just the guys that are more of the well-known guys. So first they're going to be doing the Facebook preliminary, and that's going to be Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera versus Elliot something. I don't remember what his last name is. He's not very well known, and as everyone knows, Brandon Vera got his fucking nose rearranged by I think his name Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, who was juicing up and shit. So he's out of the UFC or suspended, and Brandon Vera got put back in. And then that one I'm gonna take Brandon Vera. Even though I was listening to the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he didn't sound 100% in it, but I think he'll be able to take this guy, Elliot. I don't know what Elliot's about. I think he's game, but I just think Brandon Vera's got too much experience in the octagon. So I'm going to take Brandon Vera on that one. The next one, Spike TV preliminary, we have Dennis Siver versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone is from another organization. He's not from he's not from UFC, he's not from K1 or anything like that. I think he's from Strikeforce, to be honest. Moving over with Mayhem Miller. No, actually, I think he was WC, to be honest. I think he was WC because he's one of the lighter guys. So, him and Seaver. Seaver's a beast, but I see someone getting knocked out in the background. I see Donald Seaver using his reach. I see him be able to use his reach. I'm pretty sure he comes from a good, solid camp. I've heard a lot of name dropping by the bigger guys about Donald Cerrone, so I'm gonna take Cerrone over Seaver. Cerrone's also from the States, so I'm gonna take a guy that's local over somebody that's not even from America. Although Seaver's a fucking beast, I think that motherfucker uses testosterone because he just looks like a freaking monster. So I'm gonna take Donald Cerrone. He might grind out a decision. It might be one of them bloody things where Seaver just kind of loses his rhythm, loses his pace, and he can't figure out Cerrone. Cerrone has some elbows, so I'm pretty sure Cerrone's going to be putting his cowboy hat on, collecting a bonus, talking about his sponsors at the end of this fight. Okay, so we got pay-per-view card that we'll probably be watching at Dave & Buster's. So go there if you want to watch UFC 137. The first one is Cro Cop and Roy Nelson. Cro Cop, who's been getting knocked out, and just fucking the nastiest knockouts. And then Roy Nelson, who's basically a joke in Dana White's eyes. He's a good fighter. He's a good experienced fighter. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He beat Kimbo up. He was in contention, but I guess Dana White really doesn't like him because he went from top 10 down to the bottom of the roster. Cro Cop I wouldn't even consider a gatekeeper at this point. He can just sell fights because he's a legend. I know Dana White says he's not going to keep somebody around just to make money, but he's keeping them around to make money, and Cro Cop's old ass don't know when to quit, so he'll keep going. This one I take Roy Nelson by ugly decision or Cro Cop getting knocked out. Those are the only two possibilities I see happen. I don't see Cro Cop knocking Roy Nelson out. If Junior Dos Santos couldn't do it, then Cro Cop's definitely not going to do it. If Frank Mir couldn't do it, then Cro Cop's definitely not going to do it. I see an ugly decision or Cro Cop getting knocked out and retiring. This is going to be his last fight against Roy Nelson, unless he decides to go fight with Fedor somewhere. So, which actually wouldn't be that bad of a move. He's trying to make some money, create this pride fill thing. Fucking smart, dude. Fucking smart. Alright, the next one, Cheick Kongo versus Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione is the meathead. He's the one from Ultimate Fighter as well. He, former New York Giants, played NFL. And Cheick Kongo just came from the amazing comeback from Pat Barry. Dana White basically love that. They're bringing them to the co-main event. So that's that. Both them guys are scrappy, and Cheick Kongo showed some heart, as Joe Rogan said, probably one of the best comebacks he's ever seen, and I believe that fight was on just regular cable. So I see this one being a good fight. I see Matt Mitrione. That's my boy, and I love the Matt Mitrione minute. So he says some pretty nasty shit, and he's fast. So I see Matt Mitrione using his reach. Although both of them have good reach, I think that could be possibly fight of the night right there. But it's gonna be really hard to get fight of the night, and they'll probably have it until Nick Diaz and BJ Penn get on. Because I personally think this is gonna be a way better main event than GSP's ass. He may be top number 2, maybe pound for pound best, based on strategy alone. But I mean, now Dana White thinks Frankie's too, so whatever that means. So I don't know. BJ Penn, Nick Diaz, they're both exactly, to me, the same fighter. They both have great jiu-jitsu from good camps. They both have, good boxing, good head movement. BJ Penn has a little bit better head movement. I think BJ has a little bit better footwork than Nick, but that's questionable too, because Nick fights with pro boxers, and he's probably the best boxer in MMA. He probably has the craziest personality in MMA. I mean, he doesn't show up to media conferences. He doesn't show up to, media calls. Everyone's gonna want to know if he's coming to, fucking fight. He comes up to fight, but everything before that's always a question. But I mean, the man does smoke pot, but I mean, give him a break. He runs freaking triathlon. So I see this fight, which should be 5 rounds, only being 3. I see with them two, I see Nick. He needs to keep a pace. He needs to keep his distance. BJ Penn's going to have to come up with some elaborate game plan, and he's not going to get in his rhythm if he does that. I see them if they're just scrapping, and make it to the ground. I think Nick Diaz holds a slight edge in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but boxing, I think, and grinding out a decision may only be BJ Penn's chance to win. But him doing that, if he doesn't do that and finish, then the edge will go to Nick Diaz, because Nick Diaz has the gas to be able to take it and keep the pace. So I'm going to take Nick Diaz over BJ Penn by 3rd round TKO. I see Matt Mitrione over Cheick Kongo. I see Matt Mitrione winning 1st round knockout. I call it crazy, but that's what's going to happen. 1st round knockout. Okay. I see Crow Cop and Roy Nelson, grinded out decision. Brandon Vera and Elliott, whatever his last name is. I see Brandon Vera winning. I like Brandon Vera. I like Muay Thai. I like what Brandon Vera does, and I like that there's 2 Hawaiians on this card actually. So Scott Jorgensen's fighting, I think, this guy named Curran. So y'all might want to check that one out too. I think that one's gonna be a pretty good fight. And then you got Dennis Siver, Cowboy Cerrone over Dennis Siver. All in all, a good card. And sorry I haven't been on a while, so if you subscribe, great. Like, if you check out my videos, like them, do whatever you gotta do. And I promise to make more videos. Like I said, I just moved, and I got a life. I got a girlfriend, got a job. Gotta keep up my kingdom, keep it fly, 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 keep it fly. Audi, Audi, down with Gaddafi.